Sergeant William White?
Yeah, Sergeant William White, W-H-I-T-E, and I'm the sergeant for the APD robbery unit. And I'm here to talk about what's being commonly referred to as the Facetime robbery. So in summary, on October 23rd at about just shortly after midnight, there was a 911 call to the Austin Police Department from witnesses that were observing a robbery on FaceTime. Officers responded to the location of the robbery at 2310 Wickersham Lane. While there, they made contact with the victim, who spoke with officers at the time. On October 26th, the victim made contact with the investigator, who proceeded to get a sworn statement from him and obtained the information as to what had occurred. And essentially, the victim advised he was on the phone, or on the FaceTime, when he heard some scratching noises at the door, so he proceeded to open his door. Once it unlocked, the door flew open and the suspects entered. There were at least 3 suspects, 2 of them armed with guns. He was pistol whipped multiple times during the incident and dragged to his bedroom, where he was ordered to provide a combination to his safe. And the victims proceeded to take some of his property before fleeing his residence. After they fled the residence, while doing so, he observed what appeared to be the suspects getting into a vehicle which he described as a white police interceptor type of car, a Crown Victoria. During the FaceTime incident, the witnesses that originally called 911 that were on the FaceTime with the victim had taken still photos of the suspects during the actual robbery. So they provided those to the police department. Those were shown to the victim, the still shots, and he confirmed those were the suspects that attacked him. The victim also was able to provide Facebook profiles for the 2 suspects, and police reviewed those 2 suspects and were able to make matches on one of the suspects initially as Michael Alleman. We received information from Sergeant Herrera of the AIS Austin Independent School District Police Department. He recognized the suspect as being an AISD student, so he contacted us, and he was able to identify Michael Alleman Jr. from that photograph, which is how he was initially identified, and he has since been, or we have since issued a warrant for his arrest. The second suspect, Jacob Carter, was identified from the suspect's mother when they saw because the victim broadcast this out to the media. Jacob Carter's mother saw his images on the screen, and she contacted us, and again was able to provide his information. And when police compared Carter's photograph with those of the incident from FaceTime, they were able to confirm that he was the same person. And then from there, she also advised that he drove a similar type of vehicle, a white Crown Victoria, and we were able to confirm that independently through incidents where he'd been previously stopped by police in that same car. And he is also, we've also issued a warrant for his arrest as well. And at this time, the third suspect has not been positively identified, but we're still investigating some leads on that. Questions?
So warrants have been issued for their arrests. No idea where they are? Family doesn't know?
At this time, it appears that they're hiding out, probably because, as I said, the victim, as you guys know, he broadcast everything that happened out on social media, and the media picked up on it, and so no doubt they saw themselves. So we're confident they're hiding out because no one's heard from them at this point. So, but of course, that we would hope that they would turn themselves in to avoid any kind of confrontations. But as we're used to in our line of work, most people don't, and we eventually have to go get them. That's something we'll be working on.
You said the first one was recognized as an AISD student, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us what grade? Is he still registered as a student?
I don't have any information on that. I know just from the affidavit that he was identified as a 10th grade student. Now, I don't know his current status or anything like that.
Or what school he went to?
No.
Can you spell his name, Michael?
Aleman, Aleman.
And Jacob Carter, just a common spelling?
Yes.
The victim stayed. How was he when he first made contact with police? Like, was he injured?
Yes, he had injuries from the
Can you
from
tell
the
us what kind
robbery.
of injuries?
We're not releasing specifics at this time about that, but yeah, he had some significant injuries that corresponded to, what happened and what was seen.
Was he taken to the hospital?
That I don't know. I don't have that information at this time.
Sergeant White, he seemed to have his own ideas of why he was targeted. Have you learned anything more about why he may have been?
This is an active investigation, and we have our own information as to why why we believe he was targeted, but we're not going to be releasing certain particulars on this case, and that's one of those things that we're not going to release at this time.
What about the people who live around him? As she said, and you don't want to release it for investigative purposes, but do the neighbors need to be, or anybody need to kind of be on the lookout at this point?
I would say, given the circumstances and what's going on, I would always encourage the neighbors to be on the lookout, especially in that particular area, just if they see anything suspicious or anything suspicious going on at that particular residence or in that area, that they need to call 911, absolutely.
You mentioned that he had helped, the victim had helped identify these men, showed their Facebook profiles.
Right.
So is it safe to say he knew these two gentlemen in advance?
Without, again, going into too much detail, there's definitely a connection that's there, but again, we're not going to go into too much detail at this time.
Is there anything we can share about the victim tonight? Is he in any sort of protective custody or anything of the sort?
No, not at this time, but I'm not sure as far as his own personal status, where he's staying or anything like that.
Sergeant White, just following up on that question, one of the victim's concerns was that they were able to find these profile pictures so quickly. The pictures, the screen grabs from the FaceTime were pretty clear. Why has it taken you more than a week now?
Well,
come
that
back?
was part of the issue. It wasn't our delay that was going on. As if you had noted when I spoke, it took the victim 3 days to contact the police department to follow up on the investigation. So we were attempting to move forward with the case, but there were problems getting a hold of him just to come in to speak with us, and that was one of the biggest issues right there.
Outside the three men that you listed that you're looking for right now, are there any other charges that we're expecting in this case moving forward?
At this time, from our unit, I don't anticipate any further charges unless, like we said, we identify the third suspect. And as far as any other charges, I'm not at liberty to speak as far as that goes, but I can just say with regard to the robbery itself, we're strictly looking at the three suspects. And like I said, there's 2 with warrants and then 1 still outstanding at this time.
It's not every day that you see a FaceTime robbery. Was this pretty unique in this type of robbery?
This is a unique one, but we've certainly seen more incidents of social media helping with our investigations. People happening to be on the phone using Snapchat at the time a robbery is occurring and actually getting photos of the suspects with the robberies in progress or things like that. So it's been a blessing for police department in many instances where we get direct photographs or videos of incidents taking place.
Any idea if the suspects were aware that there was literally a camera rolling on?
Yeah, based on the, well, I don't know if they were aware that they were actually being recorded and photographed at the time, but they were aware, based on the victim's description of what happened, that he was up on FaceTime because they asked him who he was talking to on the.
Right, and they
on the
just didn't
FaceTime.
take it one step further than, oh, they could be recording this.
I can't speak to their motivations or what their thoughts were at that time, but